"Ma'am, this area's restricted. Family of service members only," the security officer said flatly, blocking her path with a clipboard and a raised brow. His eyes skimmed her body before meeting her gaze again, judgmental, dismissive. She stood tall, dressed in a fitted white blouse and tailored jeans, curves unapologetically pronounced, her large chest drawing subtle gasps from bystanders, her hips swaying confidently as she walked. Around her, heads turned, not in admiration, but in silent ridicule. "Probably just an influencer," someone whispered. "Why's she even here?" another murmured. She didn't flinch. She simply smiled and pulled a black leather folder from her purse. Earlier that morning, she had arrived at the Veterans Recognition event, where officials and families of decorated soldiers gathered to honor fallen heroes. Everyone wore their badges and uniforms, except her. She stood out, too glamorous, too polished, too visible. Her beauty, her body, became a barrier. Whispers followed her from the parking lot to the entrance. No one asked who she was. They assumed, and assumptions spread like fire. She approached the seating area near the front, reserved for medal recipients and military brass. As she stepped forward, a silver-haired man in uniform barked, "This isn't the photo booth section. This is for veterans." A few people chuckled. Her cheeks flushed, not from shame, but from restraint. She kept walking. That's when security stepped in, holding up a hand. "We can't let you in unless you're qualified." He said the word with an edge, as if beauty and bravery were mutually exclusive. She opened her folder and slid the document across the table. For a moment, the world stopped. The officer blinked. The man in uniform leaned in, eyes narrowing at the paperwork. Silence swelled like a wave. The document bore a golden seal, Department of Defense. Rank Captain. Status retired. Tours 3. Combat yes. Awards Silver Star. He looked back at her, eyes wide, tone changed. "Captain," he stammered. She nodded. "Captain Jessica Monroe, U.S. Army Intelligence. Stationed overseas from 2012 to 2021. Would you like to see my discharge card too?" You could hear the air leave the room. One woman gasped audibly. A teen nearby whispered, "Wait, she's military?" The security guard took a step back, cleared his throat, and saluted. "My apologies, Captain." Jessica didn't smirk. She didn't gloat. She simply walked forward, calm, collected, unstoppable. War zone dust coats her boots as she commands a troop through a narrow corridor in the Middle East. Under gunfire, she coordinates airstrikes, translates enemy chatter, saves lives. She's not just present, she's essential. And when the bullets stop and the mission ends, she doesn't celebrate with champagne. She writes home, to her sister, to her parents. She tells them she's safe, even when she's not. Because that's what strength does. Back in the ceremony tent, the energy shifted. Jessica took her seat, front row. No one questioned her now, but the shame hovered. The man who mocked her earlier approached, hat in hand. "Captain, I misjudged you," he said quietly. "You deserve more respect than I gave." She nodded. That's the thing about appearances, they only tell half the story. She glanced at the stage where a young girl was reading names of the fallen. "The rest, you have to earn." During the keynote speech, Jessica was asked to stand. The announcer read her name, her rank, her awards. Applause erupted. Cameras turned. Now people didn't see a body. They saw a badge of honor carved into every word of her record. A veteran beside her, missing an arm, leaned over and whispered. They saw curves. "I see courage." She smiled, real, raw, quiet pride. Later, during the reception, people swarmed her, not for selfies, but for stories. A young woman asked how she stayed brave. A boy asked if she'd been scared. "Of course," she said, "bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's doing the job anyway." A mother approached with tears in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, "for showing my daughter that strength looks like her too." The same security officer who doubted her held open the door as she left. "Captain Monroe," he said, voice low, "you reminded me not to judge a book by its—" "Well, you know," she laughed gently, "by its body. I know what I look like, but I know what I've done." She paused. Now you do too. Jessica walking through the fading light toward her car, wind brushing her hair back, the folded program tucked under her arm. A small American flag peeks from her bag. She looks over her shoulder, sees families hugging, veterans shaking hands. And in that moment, she feels seen. Not for her beauty, but for her battle. For once, both were allowed to coexist. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment where are you watching from. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and drop a karma in the comments below.